Hey guys, thanks for tuning in and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be about our favorite brilliant idiot, Andrew Schulz. And I'm not calling him a bigot because he's a hypocrite who we all watched completely change his political stance, or because he interviewed and voted for someone that he himself, along with his celebrity friends who also endorsed Trump, are now saying they didn't vote for this. Which is a lie, because Trump made it clear what his agenda and his plans were. But let's hear a quick snippet of Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, Candace Owens, and Andrew Schulz, the bigot idiot himself, all backtracking and lying to our faces yet again.
Storming into the fucking Home Depot and arresting people. No, that's not cool either. No. The military in the street, I think, is a dangerous precedent. I definitely don't think that the government should be involved ever in dictating what a comedian can or cannot say in a monologue. That's fucking crazy.
It's crazy.
I really thought they were just going to go after the criminals. I really thought there was enough gang members and enough people, MS-13 members and whatever they were looking for.
My father immigrated here from Nicaragua, right? Like, one of my prized possessions is I have his immigration papers when he came here. And I have them in a frame, and him and his siblings when they came here. Conflicted about Trump, like, with his stance on Gaza, right? To me, that's like...
I totally disagree with him on it. It's hard to reconcile it.
You see what your boy's doing? You voted for this. I'm like, I voted for none of this. He's doing the exact opposite of everything I voted for. Yeah. I want him to stop the wars. He's funding them. I want him to shrink spending, reduce the budget. He's increasing it. It's like everything that he said he's going to do, except sending immigrants back.
Mind you, these people with their huge platforms, millions of followers and subscribers, were all endorsing Donald Trump and now are saying this is not what they voted for, when literally Donald Trump has let us know what he was going to do and all his plans way before it happened. Now, most people do not like Trump because a lot of people say that he is racist, he does not care about the poor, he's disrespectful towards women, which may or may not all be true, but I simply do not like him because he is not qualified to run the country. Nothing more, nothing less than that. The same way I wouldn't want him doing open heart surgery on me, teaching my kids, being a firefighter or a cop or anything of importance in this world, is the same way I don't want him having one of the most important jobs in the world, being our president. Now, I pride myself on not being biased and always playing devil's advocate. And I know a lot of people do not like Andrew Schulz, but there's a lot of people that do, and I was one of them. He's been my favorite comedian the past 5 years, but within these last 2 years, I've grown to like him a lot less. Not because he's a hypocrite, but because for years now, he's been using comedy to hide behind the crazy things he says and endorses. And because he hasn't been that funny. I mean, we tuned into his last special, not because it was funny, but more so to hear about he and his wife's fertility journey. And even with that, he still voted for someone who lied and said that they were going to promise to mandate IVF care, when in reality, the Trump administration never intended on doing so at all, which would lead Andrew Schulz to post this on his story. Andrew would post this on his story and say, "You don't break your word breaks you." Then he would post, "For anyone that is looking for financial assistance with IVF, especially now that real Donald Trump flip-flopped once again on a campaign promise, please look into @BabyQuest Grants. It's a wonderful charity that we are working with that specifically provides financial aid for fertility treatment." Now, we all make mistakes. We all change our minds. But Schulz, out of everyone, will openly admit he didn't vote for this, although he did, and then double down to the point that brilliant idiots has become unbearable. He doesn't even notice that anytime Trump is brought up, or the Republicans, he either capes for them, gets serious, or makes up blatant lies and excuses. You can't speak about the right without him bringing up the left, and it's gone to the point to where 90% of the comments and fans can't stand him. Now, I'm going to pick 3 random episodes from the past 6 months just so you can see what I'm talking about, because every episode is the same. Andrew not taking accountability, spewing false information, and pointing the finger at the left side and everyone else except for the actual person causing the problem. And for the first time in ever, Charlemagne doesn't even challenge anything he says. At this point, they should change the name from Brilliant Idiots to Compromised Liars, because you can't convince me that they are not getting paid to push this agenda. And to give a little context on the clip I'm about to show you guys right now, Andrew Schulz had just came back from shooting the Street Fighter movie, and this is right after Charlie Kirk had passed away.
The dehumanization of it, too. Like, just the people that were seemingly celebrating it, it was just crazy. It's like, wow, people really, they're not seeing each other as human beings.
I think that, I like Wayne W. Dyer, right? And Wayne W. Dyer always talks about letting go of your need to be right. And I think that everybody needs to let go of their need to be right. You should. I pulled this up. This you should challenge your ego, cultivate humility and empathy.
Now, saying Charlie Kirk's name and empathy in the same sentence is diabolical. That man did not deserve to die, but asking us to have empathy towards someone that didn't believe in empathy and wasn't empathetic towards many groups and people himself doesn't even make sense.
Bill
Charlie.
Clinton in the 1990s, it was all about empathy and sympathy. I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up new age term that does a lot of damage.
I started watching a bunch of his things. He DM'd me before, by the way, Charlie. And he did something.
Did y'all talk? Are you?
Yeah, we had like a little interaction. And he did something that I really respect. And I understand that he is very he's very politicized, and the algorithm has created different versions of him for different people and all that kind of stuff. He hit me and says, hey, I saw this headline. It seems like you're saying this thing. Is that what you mean? And I was like, no, they're actually taking this thing out of context. So I cannot, there are friends, people that I would consider friends, people that I've helped, people that I've gotten visas to work in America.
Now, when you have to say all this when trying to get to the point, it's usually because you are feeding us a crock pot of bullshit. So him DMing you once excuses all the things he said?
Oh, simply just messaging me and asking for clarification, right?
Well, somebody like Charlie has a different lens, right? And the reason I say that is because he's probably a person that they do that to him all the time. So,
shiny head ass Charlemagne, please take your cape off.
Like, there is a different version of Charlie Kirk depending on who you are.
Yes.
And the algorithm will feed you the things that confirm your belief about that person. So if you're a God-fearing right-wing Christian, you're going to get all this content about Charlie that speaks to that, about how important family is to him, about how important his Christianity, his beliefs are to him. And wow, this is a really great man. And then if you're a person that doesn't like conservative rhetoric and you think conservatives are bigots, you're going to get all of those 30-second clips with no context of all the things that he said. They're like, oh, I don't trust black pilots or whatever the thing is. You're not going to get the whole conversation where that.
Now, Andrew, what more context do you need with a statement like that? Not only that, a lot of people weren't just watching clips of Charlie Kirk. They were watching the whole thing. So that's how we know he meant what he said and stood on it. And just because you are a Christian and a God-fearing man and a family man, that doesn't mean that you are not still racist. I'm sure that Hitler claimed to be very religious and a God-fearing man and loved his family. He still was a racist, horrible, horrible person. But let me go ahead and just play a few of the things Charlie Kirk said, since Andrew seems to be so confused.
See a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
When blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today, they were less murderous, there was less break-ins. Why is that? And the data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened?
A certain skin color now gets their own summertime celebration. Oh, wow, look how far blacks have come. It has now become a racial complaining day. Remember what BLM stands for: burn, loot, and murder.
Yeah, DEI stands for one of the biggest. Didn't earn it, just so we're clear.
Now I'm going to go ahead and read the comments because most of them were the same and did not agree with Andrew. No, Andrew, Charlie Kirk said he doesn't trust black pilots and that black men being hired as pilots were a part of the DEI hires. The internet didn't make him say that. Do your fact checks. Next, Charlie was nice to me, so that means when people say differently, it's because the algorithm brainwashed them. Is the same as Andrew Tate was a real nice dude to me. I really don't see how he could be a human trafficker. At best, it's being willingly naive, and at worst, it's insulting to other people's intelligence. I'm glad he was kind to you. Doesn't change the reality of the situation. Well said. Stop the Charlie thing. I watched everything he made. He said what he said and he stood firm in it. Nothing could be misconstrued when it came out of his own mouth. If you actually watched his content, it was very clear the way he thought, and this was prior to his unfortunate passing. This is really scapegoating the reality of what he actually stood for, and it's sad. All right, this one says, so Schulz got the full context of the inflammatory statements made by CK and didn't see a problem with it. Got it. Instead of gaslighting people by suggesting they don't have the full context, he should just say he agrees with CK statements. More specifically, he should get on live and say, I agree with Charlie Kirk when he said, and repeat the statements in full context. Otherwise, save this dismissive bull. So this next clip is going to show why Andrew Schulz is the last person that anybody should be listening to.
They had a meeting, Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump, with all the generals, a public meeting that we all watched, where they are sitting there trying to get these generals to pledge their loyalty to them, and nobody thinks that's strange.
One person does.
We read enough books to know what that is, right?
Wait. What do you mean? Like they They are loyal to him. He's the commander-in-chief.
No. They should be loyal to the Constitution.
No.
They should be loyal to the United States of America.
No.
You can't be loyal to a man when a man is telling you, I want you to go out there and wage war on your own citizens.
I'm sorry, Charlamagne, you're off on this. I mean, I disagree with waging war on your own citizens.
But that's what he said.
But he is the commander-in-chief. Like, he is in control of
in a war against a
military.
foreign power.
Yes.
No, he is in control of the Army. He is in control of the Navy, in control of the Air Force. That is his role. If we're talking about the role of the president here, I don't think that there's anybody that would refute that.
Now let's read all the comments of the people refuting that, because he was 100% incorrect. Schulz, as a retired military vet, you are very wrong about the military. The military does not just do anything the president says, not even close. Schulz, first off, welcome back. Secondly, please, for the love of America, if you are a true patriot, do some simple research and understand the U.S. military does not hold any oath to any president. They hold an oath to uphold the Constitution, to defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Schulz continues to show his ignorance. Whoever used to coach him on talking points needs to come back. Every member of the U.S. military takes an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, not to any individual person, including the president. Now, I didn't have to go out of my way to find comments of people disagreeing with Schulz, because all of the comments pretty much said the same thing. And I'm not finding specific episodes also. I'm literally typing in brilliant idiots and randomly scrolling and picking random episodes just so you can see the hypocrisy in everything he says, no matter what the episode.
$40 billion to fucking Argentina, bro.
Can you explain what that's about?
It's really important, actually. It's very important at this moment that $40 billion goes to Argentina to help promote their new economic policies. It's critical. More important than healthcare, more important than WIC, SNAP, all that shit put together.
Here in America.
Oh yeah, definitely. Fuck them, man. Soybeans, nobody likes soybeans.
Seriously though, what happened to MAGA, bro?
Well, I want people to keep that same energy when America's given tens of billions of dollars to fight foreign wars in other countries. Like, I hear a lot of people upset about America giving $40 billion bailout to Argentina and going, what about Americans at home? Well, a lot of people were very frustrated. America giving, tons of money, billions of dollars to people overseas to fight wars that we know nothing about.
That's a fact.
When there are people struggling home. So I don't want to do whataboutism.
I don't want to do whataboutism as I'm doing whataboutism. See, the thing about Andrew is anytime you critique, actually not even critique, but bring up the flaws and lies within the Trump administration, he immediately brings up the left. Everyone, including the Democrats, were very upset about the Biden administration sending money overseas to fund wars. And when you guys talked about it on here, no one randomly brought up Trump and pointed the finger at someone who wasn't even in office anymore, had anything to do with the situation. You know, when he does this, it kind of reminds me of when a white person responds to Black Lives Matter with All Lives Matter, as if we don't know that all lives matter and we aren't saying this, because even in this day and age, you have white people openly admitting that they do not value or look at Black people the same, or because we have your boy Charlie Kirk saying things like this.
See a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
But anywho, let's see what some of the comments have to say. Schulz acting like he didn't vote for and support Trump is final boss gaslighting. Indeed. Anytime Schulz actually offers criticism of Trump or Republicans, he always has to involve the Democrats somehow. Honestly, he doesn't even give them any type of criticism, but... Now, someone that's been a fan of and watched Schulz for years, I could really relate to this comment. Schulz, you have changed. I've been watching both pods for a few years, and I've went back and watched a lot of older pods. What I've noticed on your change is that in your earlier years, you had sympathy and empathy for others, and now you lack those things when you talk about things that are on the opposite side of you. You spoke of how your dad would teach you about civil rights and things during that time you said you had way more compassion for others. Now you kind of lack that in the way you talk and carry yourself. I think your dad would not agree with the things you do now. And then this comment says, he became the person he railed against. Now, I'm going to show you the last clip from one of the latest pods. So Andrew Schulz and Charlamagne were invited to the New York Times Deal Book Summit this past December. The two were among several media figures invited to a panel to discuss public trust in the media. Now, this was major because instead of his fans coming at him in the comment section, we now had other media figures that were going to actually call him out and hold him accountable for the lies that he's been spreading.
Bro, they tried to get me, man.
Oh, they jumped him. They jumped him. They jumped him.
Because I knew I was waiting the whole time. I was like, they literally had like a running clock, and there was 20 seconds left. And Barbara, who's a nice guy, Barbara was like, okay, Schulz, I have a question for you. I'd really like to get to. And, and he like is prefacing it all like nice and sweet. And I'm like, all right, here we go. I already know what it's going to be. I'm like, at a certain point in time, they're like, why didn't you ask Trump the hardest questions? Yeah. He goes, on the podcast, Trump said that the Russian hoax was clearly a hoax, it was fake, and that the Pulitzer Prize should be taken away from the media companies that covered it. And I guess I said afterward, like, I guess that would confirm, if you gave them a Pulitzer Prize for the coverage, that it was real when it was proven to be a hoax, right? And then we move on. And they're like, what do you think about that shit? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't even know.
That's why they invited him.
There's a section of the interview, and maybe you would have thought this was dutiful in the moment. I'm not so sure I'd agree, where the president is describing the entire federal investigation into Russia as a hoax, made up by Hillary Clinton, these are made up by Nancy Pelosi. That's factual, that's not accurate. But then he goes further and he says that the Pulitzer Prize Committee should give the New York Times, should take back the Pulitzer it gave to the New York Times for its aggressive coverage of that investigation.
And the Post.
And you in the interview, you're nodding along to him, you're verbally agreeing with him.
Yeah.
And you say, yeah, to have the New York Times keep that Pulitzer is to basically say that the lie is true.
Oh, that's what they brought you here for. They brought you here to put you.
So I said this, I was like, first of all, I don't know I don't know anything about the Russia hoax.
Then why are you discussing this with the president?
But what I said with this is like, you guys are part of the fucking media class. You have to understand this. You are reading the whole Mueller report. You're reading all of these documents. You're following the investigation. You're following all these.
So this is just him pretty much admitting that he doesn't research anything he says, and blaming the media for actually doing their research and knowing what they're talking about, as we all should.
When we hear they're not indicting somebody, we go, oh, there isn't enough to indict him. Therefore, nothing happened.
We, or you, Andrew, and the rest of the bigot idiots. This guy used to be a brilliant idiot, but now he's a bigot idiot. It's like he forgot where he came from, or the fact that we were along the ride and journey this whole time, so it's insane for us to see him do a complete 360 and endorse and vote for someone that doesn't even believe in half of the things that he believes in. And let me go ahead and read you the definition of bigot so you can see why I'm calling him one. It says, a person who is obstinately or unreasonably attached to a belief, opinion, or faction, especially one who is prejudiced against or antagonistic toward a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular group. So Andrew Schulz is obstinately and unreasonably attached to Donald Trump's orange, old, saggy ball sack, and he's especially prejudiced against or antagonistic towards all Democrats or anyone that doesn't agree with him. I'll read you one more definition. A narrow-minded person who obstinately adheres to their own opinions and prejudices, especially one who strongly and unfairly dislikes or feels hatred towards others based on their group membership. Now, at this point, you can replace the word bigot with Andrew Schulz, and this definition would be 100% correct still. But that's pretty much it for this video. You guys tell me what you think in the comment section below. Were you ever a fan of Andrew Schulz? Do you think he is being compromised? Also, honestly, I don't even think that he is doing this just because he's a bigot. I really think he just doesn't like being wrong. But yeah, Andrew, you can't be just misleading people and spreading false information. I don't care that you're a comedian or the fact that your podcast is called Brilliant Idiots. And at this point, I don't think we'll ever get the old Schulz back because honestly, this is probably who the real Schulz is. But again, you guys let me know what you think below in the comment section. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.